Well, it's been a strange old first 10 overs, lots of drama, as you might expect. But if you look at the scorecard and you see which team you associate with, then that might be a little bit strange. 10 overs, 76 for two, not quite a Rajasthan type first 10 overs. Devdutt Padikkal has just been dismissed of the last ball of the 10th over. Buttler's there. Jaiswal went early, but it's probably the surface that's dictated them playing a little bit more sensibly than their more kamikaze type approach we associate with them. I'm joined on Cricbuzz Comm Box by Shaun Pollock. Right at the end, Shaun, a little bit of drama, a wide that maybe shouldn't have been a wide, but the extra ball that Bangalore got as a result worked in their favor. Sliced up the slower ball by Padikkal. Kohli takes a catch.
Yeah, it did work in their favor. And that's the key of Harsha Patel, isn't it? That slow ball. It's very much like the Dwayne Bravo slow ball. Where it comes out the top, it gets a little bit of dip in it. And particularly for new batsmen coming to the crease, it's difficult to pick and work out how to hit it. And that's why he's so effective at the back end, because often the wickets fall in at that time. And it's the variations, it's the stuff that you don't see day in and day out that are most effective. But that surface looked nice to bowl on, funny enough. I mean, I know we got our reports about grass and being a bit browner and not as much grass cover. We saw plenty of deliveries nipping around. Siraj, Willie, Deep, all of them got it to bite off the surface. I must admit, I wouldn't have mind bowling on that one. And that's maybe why they've been a bit subdued. Jos Buttler is interesting, isn't he? His approach this tournament's been a little bit different. It's almost like he's absorbed and just knocked the ones, and then he's picking up a particular over to go after. And I do wonder if that's the influence of Sangakkara. Maybe they've had a long discussion, and he said to him, listen, but you need to bat the bulk of the overs. We can't lose you with these like high-risk shots too early on. And it was a tactic that Chris Gale did brilliantly over the years, wasn't it? He used to pick on one of the local bowlers in particular, or someone, an international bowler who he fancied, and take them down. And that was like the catalyst moment for him to kickstart his innings and really put pressure on the opposition. So it's interesting to see Butters going a similar route.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the Sangakkara possible effect, but also something we talked about at the start of the show was the lack of depth in the batting. Numbers 7, 8, 9, 10, Jack. Not a shepherd holder type player to come in. So could that also be part of the influence that, listen, if it's a surface that's not allowing you to go bang, bang in your first 4 overs, then make sure you're in there in the 15th.
Yeah, and maybe that was part of the Sangakkara discussion as well, is just have a look down the order. And then you'll get a better understanding about what you should or shouldn't do. So I think it's smart, particularly if he loses a partner. So for Jaiswal and Padikkal, their opportunity is to go and try and be aggressive. And if they don't come off, then maybe Buttler realigns himself and then form a partnership with Samson and see how the rest of the innings goes. So I think it's smart cricket. And yeah, sometimes it's not always the case, is it, in the T20 format? It's just backing myself and taking my option and trying to implement, where there's always got to be, in every format of cricket, an opportunity to think smart.
Yeah, and also tactically from Faf du Plessis' point of view, he's used all 4 overs of David Willey. Not normally the kind of bowler you associate with using all 4 overs, or would you say because of swing up front, it's a fair call?
Yeah, I think it's a fair call. I mean, we saw him he ended up with 29, but his last delivery went for 6. But he was using it to good advantage. He was get some shape through the air. The ball was standing with some steep bounce. And he's got the options of Siraj and Patel at the back end. So it's not like he's risking all. I don't have any problem with that. I thought it was a good call.
So, of course, there's Yuzvendra Chahal sitting in the dugout wearing pink. This is the kind of stage when Virat Kohli in the previous seasons would have said, Yuzi, you're up this end. And he would have probably got him a couple of wickets. So Hasaranga has to play that role now.
Yeah, for sure. He did well in the last game, which is important for them. And, I also understand Yuzi's attitude towards the fans. I mean, he's played in front of the RCB fans there in Bangalore. Since, COVID and even this season, he's not getting to play in front of the home fans. So you can understand how he hasn't maybe got that connection with the Rajasthan fans as yet compared to what he had at RCB.
Yeah, and also maybe the flip side of it, he won't be feeling the absence of playing in that same jersey in Bangalore, since they're on neutral venues. But just a quick one to finish. They've obviously had a different kind of approach, and they've told themselves this is not a 200 wicket. Just because we are Rajasthan, let's not go for 200. What's a good score with their position right now? 8 wickets in hand.
Yeah, I still think you're often looking at least 100 off the last 10, and seeing the bounce that's present at the one kitty. We always used to be a little bit careful of going too full too soon as the Mumbai Indians, because it can be a bit of like a trampoline surface. So when you go full and you miss it and you get a half volley, it really is easy to hit it into the top tier. So it'll be interesting to see what the plans are going forward from the bowling department for RCB. But yeah, I still think they can look at 180.
They certainly can. Remember, a certain gentleman with the pink hair by the name of Shimron Hetmeyer still to come. So Buttler, Samson, Hetmeyer, even if you don't bat that deep, if they can do the job, it's not that many overs for them to bat. Should be fun in games. We'll come and assess it at the end. Thank you, Shaun. That's all we have on Cricbuzz Comm Box.